All right, so today we're going to dive into AI safety,
Okay.
specifically how OpenAI uses this thing called red teaming
Right.
to make sure their AI models are ready for the real world.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is we're getting all of our info straight from OpenAI's own white paper on the subject.
Yeah, it's a really fascinating look into how they're approaching this.
Yeah, especially in a field that's as new and fast moving as AI safety is.
Absolutely. It's constantly evolving.
Yeah. Okay, so you said red teaming.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds kind of intense.
Yeah.
Can you kind of break down what that actually means when we're talking about AI?
Yeah, so imagine a group of cybersecurity experts trying to hack into a system.
Okay.
But instead of a computer network, it's an AI model they're trying to find the weaknesses in.
Okay.
And OpenAI basically brings in all these outside experts from all sorts of fields to kind of push the limits of their AI, see what unexpected risks might pop up.
So they're basically let's find the problems before they find us, kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's all about being proactive.
Okay, so why go through all that trouble though?
Right.
Why not just have their own engineers do it?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
The thing is, bringing in these outside experts brings a whole new set of eyes
Okay.
and perspectives.
Right.
And these red teamers might spot vulnerabilities that the developers who are so close to the project, they might miss.
So it's they're too close to it.
Exactly. They're in the weeds.
Yeah, fresh eyes can spot things
Yeah.
the original creators might overlook.
Totally.
It's kind of like how a writer needs an editor
Exactly.
to catch typos
Yeah.
and inconsistencies.
Makes sense.
But so how does this fresh perspective thing actually translate into making AI safer?
So OpenAI outlines 4 main reasons why this external red teaming is so valuable.
Okay.
So first, it helps uncover totally new risks
Okay.
that nobody, not even the creators of the AI, had thought of before.
So they didn't even realize that these problems could exist.
Yeah, completely unforeseen issues.
Wow. Okay, that makes sense. Having experts from different backgrounds,
Yeah.
poking and prodding at it, they could reveal those blind spots.
Right, exactly.
Okay, what are the other reasons?
The second goal is to stress test the safety measures that are already in place.
Okay.
So it's one thing to think that your safeguards will work, but it's another to have a team of dedicated experts trying to break them.
So you think it works, but does it really?
Yeah, it's like crash testing a car.
Oh, yeah.
You want to know it can withstand a real world impact, not just a theoretical one.
Totally. Yeah. Okay, so that makes sense. So stress testing those safeguards. What's number 3?
Right. Number 3 is to bring in experts from all sorts of fields outside of computer science.
Okay.
So think politics, cultural law, and medicine,
Oh, wow.
to see if the AI might cause problems in those areas.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's not just about stopping the AI from doing something bad, but also making sure it aligns with societal norms and ethical considerations.
Gotcha. So it's not just is it gonna, take over the world? It's is it gonna offend people?
Exactly.
Who's gonna do something illegal?
Yeah, they want to make sure the AI is fair, unbiased,
Yeah.
and ultimately provides a positive experience for everyone.
Okay, that's really interesting. So it's kind of thinking about those downstream impacts.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, what's the 4th reason?
The 4th and final reason is all about trust.
Okay.
So having this independent assessment from all these outside experts basically shows the world that OpenAI is taking safety seriously. And they aren't trying to sweep any potential issues under the rug.
Yeah, they're not trying to hide anything. They're come on in.
Exactly. Transparency is key.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense, especially when we're talking about tech as powerful as AI is.
Absolutely.
But I'm kind of curious about the process. How do they actually do red teaming?
Right.
Do they just hand the AI over to a bunch of experts and be go wild?
No, not quite.
Okay.
There's a very structured process involved.
Okay.
So the first step is figuring out what areas of the AI are the most important to test, and then assembling a red team with the right expertise.
So they don't just use the same group of experts for every AI?
No, definitely not. It's tailored to each specific AI model.
Oh, okay.
So for example, when they were red teaming GPT-4, which is their powerful language model, they focused on areas like science and cybersecurity. But for Daily 3, which generates images,
Right.
they brought in experts on misinformation and image-related biases.
Oh, so they're choosing the experts based on what they're testing.
Exactly. It's all about matching the expertise to the potential risks.
Okay, so you wouldn't ask a cybersecurity expert to, judge a piece of art.
Exactly.
Okay, so that makes sense. So what's the next step?
So the next step is deciding what version of the AI model the red teamers will actually work with.
Okay.
And this is a crucial decision because it affects the kind of risks they can uncover.
So do they let them test like a super early version even before all the safety features are in place? Yeah.
Or do they get like something closer to the finished product?
There are pros and cons to each approach.
Okay.
So giving access to an early version might reveal some really fundamental flaws.
Right.
But those flaws might be addressed before the final version is even released.
Okay.
On the other hand, testing a more finished version might not uncover those deeper issues early enough.
Oh, so it's kind of like a trade-off.
Exactly. It's a balancing act.
Okay, so how do they decide which version to give them?
Well, they outline different levels of model access in their white paper.
Okay.
And each level has its own benefits and drawbacks.
Gotcha.
So they carefully weigh these options based on the specific goals of each red teaming exercise.
So a lot of thought goes into this.
Absolutely. It's a very strategic process.
Okay, so once they've got the right team, they've decided on the model. What happens next?
Right.
Do they just unleash the red teamers and see what happens?
Not exactly. While red teamers are encouraged to be creative and think outside the box, OpenAI provides them with clear instructions and easy-to-use interfaces. Oh, okay.
To guide their testing.
So there's some structure to it.
Yeah, they even have a special interface just for like quickly comparing different prompts and the AI's responses.
Oh, wow. So they've really thought this through.
Yeah, they're trying to make the process as efficient and effective as possible.
Okay, so you need that structure to make sure the testing is productive.
Right.
And, focused on the right areas.
Exactly.
So what happens after the red teamers have done their work?
So that's when the real work begins for OpenAI.
Okay.
They take all that information gathered by the red teamers, compare it to their existing safety policies, and decide whether those policies need to be updated or if entirely new ones need to be created.
So they're like, okay, what did we learn and how do we fix it?
Exactly. It's like giving the AI a trial run in the real world, but with expert judges watching its every move.
So it's not just about finding the problems, it's about like turning those findings into actionable steps.
Yes.
Precisely.
Okay, that makes sense. And they want to translate the human expertise of the red teamers into something that can benefit the entire field of AI development.
Wow. So they're not just trying to fix their own AI, they're trying to make the whole field safer.
Exactly. They're trying to share what they learn and raise the bar for everyone.
That's awesome.
One way they do this is by using specific examples found by the red teamers to build automated tests and evaluations.
Okay.
So this helps them scale up the safety efforts beyond just one AI model.
So it's like they learn from their mistakes and then they build those lessons into the process.
Yeah, it's like taking a lesson learned from one AI project and applying it to all future projects.
I like that. Okay, so they've got all these like systems in place to make sure they're constantly learning and improving.
Exactly. It's a continuous process of improvement.
Cool. So it's clear that this red teaming has had like a real impact
Definitely.
on making these AI models safer. But it can't be a perfect system, right?
You're right. No system is perfect, and red teaming definitely has its limitations.
Okay, so what are some of those challenges?
Well, one of the biggest challenges is that AI is constantly evolving.
Right.
So findings from red teaming might become less relevant as the models are updated and improved.
It's like you said before, it's a moving target.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I imagine like putting together these teams of experts, giving them access to the AI, analyzing all their findings, it must be incredibly time-consuming and expensive.
It certainly is a significant investment.
Okay. But it sounds like OpenAI sees it as like a necessary cost.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They believe it's essential for ensuring the safe and responsible development of their AI.
That's good to hear. Are there any other limitations we should think about?
Well, one thing to consider is the impact on the red teamers themselves.
Okay.
It can't be easy to spend all day trying to break AI and imagining the worst case scenarios.
Right.
That could be pretty psychologically taxing, especially when they're exposed to like disturbing or harmful content.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I hadn't thought about that.
So OpenAI recognizes this, and they emphasize the importance of providing support and resources to the red teamers.
Okay, so they're trying to take care of the people doing this really important work.
Exactly.
What about the risk of information leaking out?
Right, that's a big one.
Yeah, like if the red teamers find a way to jailbreak the AI, that knowledge itself could dangerous.
Absolutely. It's a major concern.
Yeah.
They have to be very careful about how they manage and disclose information about vulnerabilities discovered during red teaming.
Okay, so it's a balancing act between transparency and security.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They need to find that sweet spot.
Okay, so red teaming It's a powerful tool, but it's not without its challenges.
Definitely.
And it sounds like it's going to have to keep evolving as AI gets more advanced.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what we'll be exploring in part 2 of our deep dive.
Ooh, a cliffhanger.
We'll delve into how OpenAI is adapting their red teaming methods to keep up with the rapid advancements in AI technology.
Okay, so stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back.
We'll see you soon.
Welcome back. So we left off talking about how red teaming, needs to keep changing as AI gets more and more advanced.
Like a constantly moving target.
Yeah. So how is OpenAI approaching this challenge?
Well, one of this they're really focusing on is bringing in experts from an even wider range of backgrounds and disciplines.
So it's not just like computer science people anymore.
Right. It's not enough to just have like the tech experts.
Okay.
You need people who can think outside the box.
Yeah.
Anticipate how AI might be used in unexpected ways.
So like people who understand how society works.
Exactly. Like they might bring in psychologists
to
assess like the potential for AI to manipulate emotions.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah. Or sociologists to study how AI might impact like social dynamics.
So they're thinking about like the big picture.
Exactly. It's not just about the technical stuff anymore.
Okay, so it's about anticipating not just the technical risks, but also like the social and ethical implications.
Right. They want to make sure the AI is aligned with our values.
Yeah, that's a big one.
And to do that effectively, OpenAI is increasingly focused on something called domain prioritization.
Oh, okay, domain prioritization.
Yeah, so basically they don't just randomly throw challenges at the AI. They carefully consider what areas are most important to test.
Okay.
Based on the AI's capabilities and like its potential impact.
Can you give us an example of what that might look like?
Sure. So let's say they're testing an AI that's designed to help with like medical diagnoses.
Okay, like an AI doctor.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait.
So in that case, they would bring in red teamers with expertise in healthcare medical ethics, even patient advocacy.
Wow. So they're really thinking about it from all angles.
Yeah. They'd focus on testing how the AI might make mistakes, how it handles sensitive patient data, and whether its recommendations could be biased in any way.
So they're not just trying to prevent like a wrong diagnosis.
Right.
They're also thinking about the ethics of it all.
Exactly. They're looking at the bigger picture. Like, how might this AI doctor change the relationship between patients and their human doctors?
That's a really good point.
And what are the potential unintended consequences of relying on AI for such important decisions?
Yeah, you don't want to like lose that human touch.
Right, it's a delicate balance.
So it sounds like red teaming goes way beyond just like checking for bugs in the code.
Yeah, it's about understanding the AI's impact on individuals and society as a whole.
And that's where the diversity of the red team becomes so important.
Absolutely.
Like you need people from different backgrounds, cultures, even linguistic groups.
Yeah, to make sure they're not missing any potential blind spots.
So it's not just technical vulnerabilities they're looking for.
Right, it's cultural and societal ones too.
What might be okay in one culture could be offensive in another.
Exactly. And they need to make sure the AI is fair and unbiased for everyone.
Okay, so we've talked about choosing the red teamers and prioritizing the areas to test.
Right.
What about the actual testing process itself?
Well, OpenAI provides the red teamers with a variety of tools and resources, including access to the AI model itself. But they also provide clear instructions and guidelines to make sure the testing is focused and productive.
So it's not just like a free-for-all.
No, it's a very structured process.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that.
And remember how we discussed choosing which version of the AI to give to the red team?
Yeah, like the early version versus the more finished product.
Exactly. And just like with test driving a car, you need clear instructions and a well-defined route to make the most of the experience.
That's a good analogy.
So OpenAI uses these specialized interfaces and reporting tools to help the red teamers document their findings in a clear and consistent way.
Okay.
Which makes it easier to analyze the results and identify patterns.
So they're looking for like trends and underlying problems.
Right. They want to know not just what the AI is doing wrong, but why it's doing it wrong.
So they can fix the root of the problem.
Exactly.
Okay. It all sounds incredibly resource intensive.
Yeah.
Hiring all these experts, giving them access to this cutting edge AI technology, analyzing all their findings, it must be expensive.
It's definitely a significant investment.
But it sounds like OpenAI sees it as essential.
Absolutely. They believe it's crucial for developing AI safely and responsibly.
It's good to hear that they're taking it seriously.
And they're not just trying to make their own AI safe. They're trying to raise the bar for the entire industry.
Okay, so they're trying to lead by example.
Exactly. They're very transparent about their process. They publish detailed reports